Then the leaders dragged Jesus to the governor, a man named Pilate. But after Pilate had questioned Jesus, he couldn't find that he'd done anything wrong, and he wanted to let him go. But the Jewish leaders, they couldn't stand it. So they went out and got the crowd to shout and demand that Jesus be killed. "Crucify him!" They shouted. "Crucify him!" Well, and Pilate was kind of scared because the crowd was going nuts. He was worried they were going to just take over the whole place. And so even though he didn't think Jesus had done anything wrong, he gave the order. Crucify him. So the soldiers took Jesus back to prison. But before they took him out to kill him, they decided to have some fun with him. Fun for the guards, not for Jesus. See, Jesus' followers sometimes referred to him as King of the Jews. And so these soldiers thought it would be funny that this king was now sentenced to die as a lowly prisoner. And so they decided to make him a crown out of thorns. And they shoved it down on his head until it stabbed him and he bled. And they took a robe and they put it around his shoulders. And they got down on their knees and they said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And then they took him out to die.
Well, the leaders dragged Jesus into the governor, whose name was Pilate, and they demanded that he be killed. Well, Pilate, after questioning him, he couldn't find anything wrong that Jesus had done. So he decided he would just let him go. But the Jewish leaders, they wouldn't stand for that. So they went and got lots of people, and they demanded that Jesus be killed. "Crucify him," they yelled. Well, Pilate, he was worried that all these people, they were going to go nuts and take over the palace. So even though he didn't think Jesus had done anything wrong, he gave the orders. Crucify him. So he told the guards to take Jesus into the prison. But before they took him into the prison, the guards thought they would have just a little bit of fun with Jesus. Well, fun for the guards, not fun for Jesus. You see, Jesus' followers, they'd always called Jesus the King of the Jews. And the guards, they thought it was funny that this King of the Jews was now just a lowly prisoner. So they made a crown out of thorns, and they jammed it on his head until he bled. And they took a purple robe, and they wrapped it around him. Then they all gathered around him, and they bowed down and worshiped him and said, "Hail, King of the Jews." Then they took him out, and they killed him.